Let's look at a Nigerian player that is doing fantastically well in the Bundesliga, Victor Boniface, who has now broke a 29-year-old Bundesliga record in Bayer Leverkusen's 4-1 win against Heidenheim at the Bayer Arena on Sunday. The Nigerian international is the player with the most shots on goal, 36, after 5 rounds of games in the history of the Bundesliga. Former Bochum forward Uwe Wegman previously held the record 25 shots on goal during the 1994-1995 season. Boniface netted twice against Heidenheim to continue his impressive scoring spree for Xabi Alonso's side. Boniface has recorded 8 goals and 3 assists in 7 games across all competitions for Leverkusen. Now, this is just about shots, not goals converted. But the reason why it is worth bringing this up is that we're seeing here the rapid rise and progress of another young Nigerian striker. And even before he joined Leverkusen this past summer window, there were already a list of European clubs lining up potentially to test with a bid for him. Leverkusen got him. And now we can be sure that, because nowadays a player doesn't even get to stay 2 seasons at the top, performing, showing what he has, before a bunch of other clubs, a bunch of top European clubs show up to start trying to get him. Victor Osimhen in Napoli is reportedly being priced at £150 million. That's what the president wants for him. However, we've heard reports about a potential contract renewal with a demand by Osimhen's team to have a release clause included in that. Now, given how much Harry Kane went for from Tottenham to Bayern Munich with 1 season left on his contract at 29, you can bet that the release clause, if it does get put into such a contract, will not be cheap. Probably not less than £100 million, probably as much as 120. There will be clubs that will be ready to pay for him. But are we seeing the rise of another striker who might very well challenge Victor Osimhen's position in the Nigerian national squad?
My perspective is not seeing him as a challenger. My perspective is seeing him as a supporting striker, right? We saw a glimpse of that against Sao Tome and Principe in the final African qualifying series. He's someone who can hold up play. He's someone who is skillful. He's somebody who can bring in other players, take away the attention from the main striker, so the main striker can thrive. He came into that game and also got an assist from one of the Brazilian school. For Bayern Leverkusen, the guy has been absolutely tremendous. And it's not just about what Wegman did for Bochum in 1994-1995. He also broke another record, or let's say joined the league of others. Remember, there was a guy, what's that his name now? Jan Madsen. Yes, Jan Madsen in 1997, 1975, 1976. He was also a player who scored about 6 goals in his first 5 match league games in the German Bundesliga. Erling Haaland is also another player who scored about 6 goals, or let me say 2 or more goals in 3 of his first 5 games in the league. Now, Victor Boniface has done the same thing. He scored a brace in the second game, scored another brace against Borussia Mönchengladbach, scored a brace in the last game against Heidenheim. So, whatever he's doing is collaborating with history, is making him well known. I was watching the last game in the Bundesliga, and even fans from the stadium want his shirt. You see, Victor Boniface, I need your shirt. He's also becoming a fan favorite, right? So, in his own right, he's getting into his own. Remember, he's one of those players who started from home soil with Real Sapphire and the Nigerian team. They went to Bodo Glimt, went to Union St. Gilois before coming to Bayern Leverkusen. So Victor Boniface has a very, very impressive career, and I don't see him challenging Victor Osimhen. I just see him as a supporting striker who would take Nigerians' attacking style to the next level.
Well, okay. Let's talk about how far he still has to go to live up to the standards that Osimhen is currently exhibiting. Is he far off that performance level? Is he far off a 30 goal a season striker? Is he capable of it now, or do we have to wait 2-3 more seasons? Because he has already started this season so well. By the time we get to January, I feel if a player already has up to 15 goals in January, he has a stronger chance of getting to 30 before the end of the season. But nowadays, if you get to 15 that early, a striker who is prolific enough to get to that point is very well likely to only to get to as much as 35 goals. The standard that Erling Haaland has set, the standard that Victor Osimhen is putting up in Napoli, suggests that even a 30 goal striker isn't 30 goal a season striker isn't enough to compete at that level.
Now we did the strength, the last one. Okay, so really had statistics in his favor over time, right? I think with Bodo Glimt, he spent 4 seasons with them, and in 4 seasons he scored just 23 goals. He spent just 1 season in his previous club, St. Gilois, 2022-2023 season, and he scored 17 goals. So if I want to look at reference or precedence or reputation, he hasn't really shown that he can do that many goals in a particular season. But before Victor Osimhen did last season, it was pretty much the same, right? For RSC Charleroi, for Lille, he was just scoring 11 or 10 goals per season. Then came the Napoli season where he scored almost all his goals. So I think Victor Boniface is showing the potential that he can do it. He hasn't done it before, but he can do it. For national team, it will depend on the coach's choice. I feel like players strive depending on how much the coach uses them in the national team. It's not really depending on their quality. But for club, he is starting. There's nobody challenging him for a starting shot. So he should be able to do it because he has the potential.
Well, if he will be highly sought after next summer. If a club like, say, Arsenal, whom are being linked with going for Ivan Toney in January, a lot has been made about them needing a prolific striker to take them to the level where they can compete and finally beat Man City to the league title. I would say that a prolific striker, is the only thing left to complete Arteta's jigsaw at Arsenal. If a club like Arsenal come along looking for him, do you think he's ready to make the step up in the summer?
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's done almost the same like Giftoban did, and Giftoban was like this spice of the transfer summer window, even if he really didn't make that big move. But people are interested already. So Victor Boniface would surely attract interest, even in the winter transfer window starting in January, before the summer next year, August. So I think it depends on how he continues his trajectory, because there was a certain Lukaku who scored 5 goals for Chelsea and everybody thought he was going to be the highest goal scorer that season. All of a sudden, they didn't score again till December. So it could happen for Victor Boniface and he may lose form. But if he doesn't and he keeps being consistent, of course, people would come for him starting from January. Arsenal are not the only one that needs strikers. I mean, look at Inter Milan, for example. Yes, they still have Lautaro Martinez, but how long will they have him? Look at Chelsea. Look at Man U. They are just flirting with a lot of attackers. They don't have a striker. And the list goes on and on and on. So, yes, Victor Boniface will have a lot of interest.